All right, guys, if I'm audible, um, let me know in the chat. Shall it? क्या was I'm check नहीं किया मैंने. Let's check it out. Right, so there was no structure in this chart. इसमें कोई structure नहीं था तो I mean it's still strong actually. अभी भी strong है ये. Not falling today. It's actually stronger than other charts. I mean what is going on in the market right now. So I mean this kind of stuff is going on in the market right now. So it's still all right. How is Ashok Leyland now? Of course it's not good. Right? Of course it's not. I mean it might hold this low. So see the entire structure, if you go on the weekly chart, it's actually still all right. So I mean until the weekly EMA is broken, this is the demand, right? So until the weekly EMA is broken, it's actually still good on the weekly charts, all right? So be a bit careful in this market, all right? That's the only thing I'm saying here. Whenever you expect a big down day, it's going to happen, all right? 9 out of 10 times is going to happen. If you're expecting a big down day, it means see, in the last lesson also I discussed that whenever the small cap index is absorbing some demand like this, whenever it comes to demand and it comes, suppose see, it came down to demand zone here and then it started to go down again. When this is happening, this is a clear indication that maybe this thing is not going to hold anymore. So this day itself can lead to a lot of losses in your portfolio. Right? So be very careful when these kind of structures are playing out. Right? Because whenever things come to demand, especially the small cap index, they don't really stay there for a long time. They'll tend to spike back up very fast. You see in all these areas. So when I'm seeing, again, if you see in this area as well, when I'm seeing that this is my demand zone, right, and I'm getting a bounce from here, but it's turning back down here, I'm expecting this down day, right, and I'm adjusting my positions accordingly. So whenever you're seeing that one thing is testing a demand zone and it's coming back down, be very careful, right? So you see it tests out the demand zone, then starts going back up. Tests out, breaks the supply, starts going back up to the high. So it's still effectively range bound. In this area is what I'm saying, not in the overall chart, of course. Right. So and also try to stay away from small caps right now. All right, because they will not do you any good. Small caps should be traded in this part. In this part. All right. When you see that these are breaking down, try to stay away from small caps. All right. But there is a weekly demand zone right here which is untested. So you see there is nothing. I mean, severe has happened in the market right now, and still so many stocks are down 50-60% from the highs, and that's always concerning in the small cap market, because if you compare this bull run with this one, we're actually still here, right? So if something like this has to play out, you can imagine what will happen to a lot of stocks, right? So be very careful, right? This is not the worst. This is actually uh, just a normal correction which can happen anytime, all right? And this has happened multiple times, I think. I mean, not such a deep one. It's already down 16%. So that's some correction, but expect some bounce from this level, right? So you can actually buy the small cap mutual fund in parts around this level. I I I mean, I wish there was an ETF for this so that we could buy the buy an intraday itself. But unfortunately, there is no ETF for the small cap index that I know of. So there is an ETF for the mid cap index. So I think it's NETF. Let's see. Yes, this one. So there's an ETF for this. I'll just use the line chart, right? So there's an ETF for the mid cap index. I think this has also come down to the. I'll just add this actually. Just a second. I'm not sure how liquid this is, so don't come after me if you get filled up and down. All right. So Nifty mid cap. Again, it's breaking down, but I think on the weekly charts we're all right. Yes. So on the weekly charts we're still good. You see here is the demand. So you can look at the Nifty mid cap ETF whenever it comes down to this area of demand. You can look to buy it actually. Maharashtra Seamless is still good. It was green for some time today in the morning, I think. So it was green here. At this point, you want to trade with very small size. India Bulls Housing also keep a watch on this, right? We've come down to this historic range low. And look at this volume. Actually, look at this volume right here. So this signifies that there might be accumulation going on. And if you know some fundamental analysis, let's check out the fundamentals actually. Also, I have no idea how reliable this site is, so don't again come after me if it's not that reliable. Let's check out. See, fundamentals, you don't have to check out any of this. All right, any of this, don't worry about it. You have to check out the shareholding pattern. All right, and FIIs are clearly increasing their stake in the last quarter. DIIs are also increasing their stake. So promoter is diluting the stake to FIIs and DIIs. So maybe we can see some up move. They were decreasing the stake in March 2021. All right, there was some increase here. Maybe there's a big FII exit here. But overall, it's not that rampant selling. All right. So it's not that bad actually. There was some buying in June 2022 as well. You see, June 2020, right? But again, in September, maybe some FII offloaded. So promoter actually, this day, I think it was a few days ago itself. This one, when there was a news about the stock, when it fell down like this, I think this is where the promoters are selling. I'm not really sure, but keep a watch on this stock. All right, it's showing a lot of relative strength right here, and it has come down to a nice base. So you see, it's always coming down to these weekly lows. All right, or you can mark this as well. So it's always coming down to these weekly lows before continuing the trend on the upside. All right, again here as well, and this is your weekly supply. All right. So we might see a test of some higher levels here, right? So keep a watch on this and stay away from stocks like this. All right, please stay away from stocks like this. I'm begging you, don't. Uh, donate your money in the market. All right, when they start to break weekly zones like this, please get out because this thing is coming. All right, even though the fundamentals might be great and all that stuff, you see how the stock is moving for the past 5-6 years, right? From this high, the stock has virtually gone nowhere. So from 2017 to 2020, the stock has gone nowhere. All right. So be a bit careful with these stocks. Always take weekly uptrending stocks and stick to sectors actually. So don't take, even if you're starting out actually, now the market is only sector based. Everything is not running up. So this time is actually gone. Now we'll be seeing some sector based movement. When everything was going up, things were good. But right now we're seeing that a lot of structures are getting spoiled. So we cannot expect weeks like this. And the point is, see, the major point is that when people are getting into stocks getting into stocks and the market is moving like this, even when the market, suppose when the market goes up 4 weeks, your stock has not gone anywhere. All right. Then on the fifth week, your stock starts breaking out like this. All right. So that creates a false assumption in people that their strategy is working. It's not actually the strategy. It's because everything is going up. All right. So when if your stock hasn't gone up here or here and it starts going up here, then automatically that's not a very good trade because market can fall anytime. All right. It was not falling here. That is why everything was going up. When it started to do this, then suddenly all stocks are breaking down. You see a lot of stocks are downtrending like this. All right. So be a bit careful because things won't move up very easily now, right? And we won't see this kind of a phase. So what I would suggest you is stick to the index, right? Stick to broader index moves. All right. Look to position yourself in stronger indices. You see, Nifty Auto is still very, very strong. All right. No question about this. Bank Nifty is also all right. So you see 2 days of volatility and everything, everyone is scared. But effectively, this structure hasn't changed one bit. All right, it's still above the 50 weekly moving average. So this is all right. We've seen this in the past as well. This kind of stuff keeps happening in the market. All right, you see. So if you're not prepared to buy here, then where will you buy? All right. So see something like this. This keeps happening. We might get a very massive run up from here. Who knows? We have not done anything in Bank Nifty since forever, and the results have started to come out great in banks. Right. So see, all these sectors are extended from the 50 weekly moving average here as well. Look at the bounce. Okay, this is Bank Nifty. Nifty Media. See how far it is. Very strong. All right. Any dip is buyable. Look at this as well. Nice move, and you getting the move from the lows every time. Nifty mid cap as well, strong. Nifty PSU Bank extremely strong. Nifty small cap is also all right. Nifty Energy also extremely strong. Look at this. It's not even testing out the weekly 50 EMA. All right. Nifty Realty is still strong, coming down to this area right here. So a lot of indices you see are coming down to this weekly 50 moving average. So we might see some kind of a pause in the market now. Metal C very strong. So there is no structural breakdown in the market. This is what I'm trying to uh, come at. All right. There is no structural breakdown in the market. You don't have to worry about anything, right? We're not entering a phase like this. All right. This is actually just this. So if you cannot sit through this, then how will you sit through this? You have to think about this, right? If you cannot sit through this phase, how will you manage this one? All right. So always go to higher time frame charts. You'll get a view of where you are, and we are not that bad at all. Bank Nifty, see, it's at the hourly EMA. We have talked about this as well. At the hourly zone, sorry, that there is still demand here. All right. So this demand did not make a new high. So we are still in a structural pullback. We can easily do this. Not saying we will do that, but we can easily do that. Right. And there was a nice sweep of the previous lows right here. You get quick accumulation, and now this supply is tested. So now what you want to see is if this demand is holding, then we can definitely see an up move till this supply. Right. So you always want to wait for this base to build up around the 50 EMA. Right. And Bank Nifty is perfectly all right. The US index is also all right. We're not seeing any quick break of this right now. That can happen. I'm not saying that won't happen. That can definitely happen. But right now, if you see, this supply has been tested multiple times on the US 500. All right. If it's being tested multiple times, uh, once this EMA catches up, there is a chance this breaks on the upside. So we might see some up move in the indices from here on. All right. We're at a nice level of demand, which is this one. Probably on the 15-minute, it will be visible. Right. So you see, this is one candle right here. So this is a nice level of demand. You see, we're reacting from that as well. On the 15-minute chart, we are actually still downtrending. Maybe not anymore, because you see this area. This is your area of supply. So once this starts to go on the upside, we will enter a bullish structure. All right. So things are all right in the market. We are not seeing any structural breakdown. Don't empty your portfolios. Just take out the weak stocks, especially the ones which are breaking the 50 EMA. Suppose if you're investing, I won't exit Jindal Poly. It's perfectly all right. All right. This is the time to exit Jindal Poly when this kind of stuff starts happening. And this is for an investment kind of framework. All right. This is where I'll exit. See again here, first test of the weekly demand, never exit. When this starts to come down again, that is when you should start taking the trash out. Look at this as well. So if you are buying this, then there is no hope. There is a lot of supply built up. The uptrend is essentially broken. Right? You see something like this as well. So if you have to take 5 losses in a row, the market is telling you something. All right. If you have to take 5, 6 losses in a row, and stocks are falling like that, the market is telling you something. So listen to that. Your portfolio is your best indicator of where this is trying to go. All right. If your portfolio is not moving, things are extended, things are not good. Always keep your portfolio as your first and foremost indicator of where you are at in the current market. All right. So the index, I expect some bullish move in the index. I was also not expecting this down move yesterday, but we never really even tested this supply. So it just flow to the downside. I did not participate here. You don't have to participate in every move. That's what fools do. All right, or really experienced people do. So that's the extreme part. Either you are an absolute god or you are a complete fool to participate in every move. All right, I am somewhere in the middle. I'm a normal human, so I'll trade what makes sense to me. All right, so don't participate in every move, and follow the trend. Follow what you expect. We are at the early demand zone, so I'll only take the bias on the long side. All right, Brigade Enterprises. Let's check it out. Brigade Enterprises. It's actually still all right. If you look at this, it's still all right. But my concern is, you see, the uptrend was this one, right? There is no uptrend here, so the demand is somewhere here. If you're buying Brigade here, you're still actually far. All right, Tata Motors. Let's check out Tata Motors. Tata Motors is also all right. You don't have to worry about anything. Maybe keep an eye on this demand zone. All right, but if you've taken a long entry here, you should have exited yesterday. But if you're talking for a short term or a medium term view, basically for a swing trade for 4 or 5 months, this is really good actually. It's around its all time high as well, if I remember. Yes, so this is good. And try to also stick with some themes going on in the market. So if IT stocks are running up, right, don't neglect IT just because it has run up. So suppose what I was doing when in this part, right, in this part I participated in IT, this part I participated in IT, participated in IT stocks, but here I was ignoring them because they had run up a lot. So don't ignore them when, especially when you're coming off of a correction, right? This is a late stage market, so definitely we'll see some correction. But whatever sector comes out as the leader, it has the potential to run up a lot. So if I show you an example in Bank Nifty, let's check it out, right? So I'll show you. I'll just add the chart of Nifty as well. Just a second. All right. So the chart without the EMA is the chart of Nifty, and the chart with the EMA is the chart of Bank Nifty. All right. So if I show you here, look at this. Where is the high in Bank Nifty? Right here. Right. Bank Nifty tested out this high. Nifty is very far from this high. So which sector is leading? Bank Nifty is leading. So we expect this in Bank Nifty. All right. We expect this in the coming months in Bank Nifty. And this is the 2019 chart, so I'm not talking about the current market. All right. So Bank Nifty is bound to be much stronger. Again, if you see here, this supply tested immediately. Nifty, this supply is probably below the 50 EMA. We'll have to check that out. But Bank Nifty is still leading. All right. Not leading here. All right. If you see, this is lagging here now. All right. So some other sector is leading up. So if I check out the IT index around October 2019, let's check out Nifty IT. Right, so around October 2019, what is Nifty IT doing? It's still range bound. So maybe some other index is going up. You can check that out on your own. Reliance maybe is going up a lot, right? So you always have to stay with the stronger stock and then wait for the structure to set up. All right, stronger index basically. And when you're taking the small cap stocks, you want to see that the small cap index is about to move big. If you're not expecting a big movement, just don't engage with small cap stocks. They're very, very dangerous. They can fall 20% just like that. And keep a very focused view in the small cap space as well. All right. Also, guys, make sure that you like the video. Since a lot of you are here, make sure that you like and share the video. It helps with the algo and to grow the account. All right. Grasim is an interesting chart. Let's check it out. Right. So Grasim has come down to this previous demand zone, which is right here. This one made a new high right here. So this is your entire base in Grasim. Probably it's at the weekly. All right. Still not at the weekly. Actually,
The weekly zone which led to the last movement is somewhere here. So these both are reacting from the same area. All right. So Grasim, until this is getting taken out, I'll only try to take bullish trades, of course, all right, because this is a base for the trend. All right. So Grasim, until this is taken out, I'll only try to take bullish moves. And on the intraday time frame, if I check out Grasim, there is nothing here. All right. Until this base is taken out, don't take longs. This supply is very active. All right. So even though it looks like there's a good long opportunity here, there is none because we still have a lot of active supplies. See, one thing which you can do to improve your understanding of relative strength is just mark the previous day range. And I'm not by range, I don't mean the high or the low. Just mark where you see a lot of congestion in the previous day. All right. So suppose I'm seeing Grasim, it's here. So if it's trading below this previous day range, I'm not taking a long trade in this stock at all. All right. You can note this point. If the sector is trading below, see, this is the previous day range. It can recover back up like this, but I'm not taking a long trade in this stock. All right. Because there is no reason for the stock to go up. It can go up. I'm not saying it cannot go up. Of course, it can react from some high time frame demand and it can shoot up, right? But where is the motivation for the stock to go up, right? It's trading below the previous day range. The sellers are active, so it will take a complete change of character. A complete change of by change of character, I don't mean your BOS, all right? Complete change of sentiment here for this to go up. So I don't want to be in that kind of scenario where I want to anticipate that. So whenever it's trading below the previous day range, you don't take longs, no matter how far it is. Right here as well, if you see, don't take longs here. Again, you see here, don't take longs. On the other hand, if you see Nifty IT, this is the previous day range somewhere here. Look, immediate breakout, pulls back to the EMA. There is no demand, unfortunately, but you can definitely plan longs here because the bias is bullish. All right. So when these supplies start to get taken out, you can maybe get some entry. I wouldn't get an entry here because you see it started to go up immediately. So after the supply breakout, they started to go up from here itself, but still you get the point. When it's opening when it's opening above the previous day range, or it's going above the previous day range, then demand zones are active. All right, they are very strong. So if anything sets up, you can definitely try to take it. Look at this as well. Opening above the previous day range and then trying to go up. Nifty Auto still below the previous day range. You can say that there's a range here, there's a range here as well. So I'll not take a trade in Nifty Auto right here. But Nifty Auto is again the strongest on the daily chart. So no surprises that this is leading the market right now in the high beta space. Nifty Media as well, again very strong. I've talked about this as well. Very, very strong. Varun Beverage for swing. All right. So if you're buying Varun Beverage for swing, see the only problem with um, stocks is that they are strong one day and another day they're down, right? So we need the index to stabilize. Even though it's strong for like 4 days, if the index drops another 4% today, this is bound to go down. You can never say with surety if it will stay or not. So avoid swing trades completely right now, all right? Unless you're expecting the index to stabilize, which I am expecting given this weekly zone right here. So I'm expecting some stability to come back in the index. So let's see, it's also trying to go up. But again, on the hourly or even on the 30-minute chart, there is no signs of any bullish up move. So wait for that. Even if you miss that trade, it's all right. But at least you're taking a high probability structure, right? Alkyl amines, all right. Alkyl amines, let's check it out. Weekly chart kind of getting weak, which I don't like. All right, so this was the supply right here on your weekly chart. So once it tested out the supply, now it's kind of getting weak. So I don't want that, and the demand on the weekly chart is somewhere here. So avoid this trade right now. All right, you want to trade weekly charts which look like this, where you see that this was the previous weekly supply somewhere here. All right, and this is where your supply absorption is going on. So if I go on the daily chart right here, right, so look at this. This is where you want to start buying these stocks. All right, when you see that the weekly structure entirely is getting taken out in a bullish framework, all right, in a bullish kind of a framework. Right? If I take more examples, and you can use this as an active swing trading strategy as well. Let's see. See, so avoid these structures. Let's see. Yeah, look at this. All right. So now if you see, this was your previous weekly supply. There was some absorption going on. I think I talked about this stock. Someone asked about this as well. Now this is breaking out, and your stop can be below the weekly demand. All right. So it can be below this demand, and you can enter around these areas. Again, this is quite far from the EMA, but the same thing is going on here. All right. But you can ignore this because it's far from the EMA. It will tend to correct very fast. All right. Let's check out some more. In the current market, of course, you won't really get anything. And also zoom out to see whether the stock is pushing all-time highs or not. If it's not pushing all-time highs, then there's no point buying it. Right, so look at this one. This is a good one. Right, the supply is right here. So when it tests out the supply and it starts going sideways, you can buy this one. Chart is also good. It's not distorted because of the market. If price tested the supply for the first time, how do we know it will break supply or fall? We don't know that. That is why we wait for the test of demand. So if this is the supply, right? And it's suppose it went up and fell down and created a fresh supply here, right? So now if it's going back up here, I don't know if it's going to break or not, but I know that if this starts to hold, if this starts to hold right here and it forms a VCP, then there's a chance it will break out. So I'll bet on that. There are a lot of other things as well. So, but the basic point is this: that you also want to wait for the test of demand. All right. Um, VR logistic. All right, let's check it out. VRL logistics. My bad. VRL logistics strongest chart in the logistics sector. Yes, this is the strongest chart. I mean, looks by the looks of it. But right now there is nothing. All right. So you never know what kind of supply is coming from here. So you never know whether the stock will just continue on the downside or it will go back up. So now we need a test of this supply. Maybe something like this. So you see after this fall to the 50 EMA, you want to see some base like this here. There's a lot of time for these things to develop. Blue Dart Express, all right. Blue Dart again, nothing in Blue Dart right now. It's at the demand. Structure is still all right until this zone is taken out. We are still good right here, which this zone made the new high. All right. So until this zone is taken out, we are still good. But right now there is no long in this structure. Ease my trip. Ease my trip for long term. See now this is turning into some sort of a loss of momentum, right? Which is what I don't like. There is some bearish hint into the stock, but this is definitely not falling. So there's a confusion here. All right. So if you're buying this, I'll just let you know that your demand zone is somewhere here. So if you're buying here, you can see how far you are from the demand. So don't buy this. You could have bought this here, maybe even here, but now it's too far. Borosil renewables, yeah. So this move didn't work out, but again, this demand is holding right here. All right, this demand is holding, so it's still all right. See, if you guys are trading with suppose any suppose you're not a very big trader, right? Of course I'm not expecting anyone to trade with 10 crores here, but even if you have something like maybe in the double digits of lakhs of capital, I'll suggest you to focus on stocks with a 5% circuit for swings. All right, don't mess around with stocks uh, with something other than this. Focus on these 5% circuit stocks. They give very clean structures. Look at this, very clean VCP right here, and they move in one direction. All right, they move in one direction. So if you see a 5% circuit stock with a lot of volume, trade those. And usually the strongest stocks in the market in NSE, they automatically go to a 5% circuit, because if you see something like this one, if it's moving up like this, all right, there's a 20% circuit here, but after that it is shifted to 10 and then eventually 5. So the strongest stocks in the NSE, which are continuing to go up, they're automatically shifted to a 5% circuit. All right, so that also helps a lot, because that they're automatically telling you that this is the strong stock, buy this. All right, so don't worry about circuits that they'll never open. These stocks circuits open every day. So trade structures like these, trade stocks with a 5% circuit, and I'll take a lot of examples. Just a second. Let's see. Right. So you see Trident. Look at the number of opportunities this stock gave you. All right. There was one here. There was one here, maybe here as well if you're trying to chase it. So moving up in a straight line every single time. All right. So whenever these stocks are giving you opportunities, you want to take it. And you want to trade these 5%. Look at this as well. Nice base supply is right here. Then this thing just starts going up. All right. There was no entry here. If you see, the supply is not tested. I mean, it's very far. All right. But look at this as well. This goes up in a straight line. All right. So, I mean, focus on these stocks. Even if you catch one of these, then it's just you're done for the year actually. Apollo Hospital. Yeah, I was waiting for someone to ask about Apollo Hospital. Let's check it out. Where is Apollo Hospital? Right. So Apollo Hospital is at the weekly demand zone. So you can definitely buy here for an investment. For a swing trade, this is not the structure, but for an investment grade, you can definitely buy here. And I was following the results as well. This was actually doing really good. Apollo, right? So you can definitely expect some kind of movement on the upside if the market is stable. Of course, that is always the condition. But Apollo Hospital is at the weekly demand zone, and the trend is very strong. So you can definitely get something here. Same with Laurus Labs. Laurus Labs I talked about in my Instagram as well on my stories. So this is also trying to set up. SRF as well. SRF we have talked about multiple times. Very strong structure. Still not breaking down. This is your reference demand. Right. So keep a watch on SRF as well. Delta Corp was actually also good. Still not breaking down. The demand zone in Delta Corp is actually somewhere here. I think this entire area is a weekly demand. I'm not. Yeah, right. So this entire area, you see this wick, this is a weekly demand. So Delta Corp is also very strong, right? So focus on structures like these, which are range bound, still range bound, even in this, and do not buy this. So I've been noticing a lot of people buying Godrej properties because it's available. It's breaking everything. This demand got broken. This demand also almost got broken. So this is how is this a good company if it's falling like this, right? I don't see the point behind this, behind buying this. All right, how is this a good stock if it's falling like this? And how is this a bad stock if it's continuously outperforming the market? All right, so all stocks basically have their demand zones in the previous up move. So whenever you're seeing a chart like this, all right, and the range like this is not the demand zone. This is not a proper demand. The demand which is being which is forming the range is here on the uptrend. All right. So always focus on these demand zones, not on something here, and don't buy here. All right. Always wait for this. This will definitely give a nice long entry. Here was the same thing if you see. All right. So again, you get a nice long here itself. So always focus on demand zones on the uptrend, not in the middle of a range. And that is the biggest mistake which beginners do. All right. All right. So let's check out some more doubts. From a supply base, I've noticed stocks are getting resistance at different level. First line of the base, then middle line, then upper line. This is your fallacy. Supply base, there is no levels to that. All right, it's just an area. See, so when I'm following supply zones, I'm not concerned about the exact price point. All right, it's this zone. So if it's, I'll just use the chart. All right, let's see. So it's this zone where the supply is, right? So I'm not concerned about the exact point, the 50% level or the highest level or the lowest one. I'm not worried about it. The point here is when you're seeing a zone, right? When you're seeing this area, so suppose when you're seeing a bunch of candles like this, all right, right here, what is exactly going on here on the lower time frame? It's just a range, right? It's just a range where selling happened, all right. It's just a range where selling happened. So that is where stock is again reacting from. So ultimately, it's a base on the lower time frame, all right. Even on the 5 minute zone, it's ultimately a base on the 5 second time frame, 30 minute, 30 second time frame, all right. So that is the logic. So again, we're seeing some up move in the index. Bias is definitely long side from here on. You will see a lot of stocks will start moving up and recovering from the lows. Keep an eye on those. All right. Very nice weekly chart of Bank Nifty. There is nothing to be worried about here. All right. Actually, there's a lot of money to be made by selling monthly options as well. When people don't usually do that, I'm not sure why. But you see this demand zone. When Nifty is coming to this weekly demand zone on 20 December, let's check out where it is on this day, and you are seeing some sort of a range build up and some breakout happening on the upside, you can sell monthly puts below this. You will get a lot of premium. You will make 10-15% a month. All right. And this thing has a very high chance of going up, maybe even going sideways like this for 1 or 2 weeks. That will also give you a very big margin to protect your trade. All right. So explore everything. All right. Don't just get stuck with one thing, because there's a lot of money to be made in Nifty and Bank Nifty. All right. Also, guys, make sure that you like the video. Right. So Reddington India is still all right. There is nothing wrong with the structure. If you see, it's really good. All right. This is really good. This can break out. Your point of reference should be this area right here. All right. So I won't be concerned even if something like this happens. Even if something like this happens tomorrow, I won't be concerned about this trade, to be honest, because the structure is still good. Shall we exit stocks? No, you shouldn't, because structurally, if your stock is breaking down through some weekly demand, so suppose this is the weekly demand here, all right. So let's take a random stock. Let's take something which is falling. Let's take this one. All right. Let's take this one. So if your stock is breaking the weekly demand, which is at the 50 weekly EMA, this is the 50 weekly EMA. If this demand is starting to go, then exit. All right. So something like, let's say, right, something like this as well. If this is starting to go, then you should definitely exit. All right, Themis Medicare. This is also very strong. We've talked about it multiple times. We are waiting for this structure, right? So you can maybe start buying, but buy with a small size. All right, buy with a small exposure. Don't get in with all your chips. All right, this stock has finally come down to the EMA. I think yes. So that is what I was waiting for. A lot of people were trying to buy it here, maybe here as well. Don't buy all this. One day of correction and everything will come down. All right. So if you see, there's an entire area of demand, but it's reacting from here. All right. So now what we want to see is we want to see a test of this supply. All right. We want to see a test of this supply and then a sideways movement, something like this right here. Then you can expect some up move. But if you're trading swings and you just want to make a living out of it, um, focus on the 5% circuit stocks. It's an honest suggestion. All right, they are very easy to handle. Any trade which is failing, so I if I show you that as well, any trade which is failing can be handled very easily as well. All right, so you see if this is falling from here, this will take a few days to break down. All right, and when once it breaks down, it will go straight to demand. So there is no ambiguity here at all. All right, so trade these stocks. Renuka looks like, yes, Renuka is holding. We have talked about Renuka multiple times. Um, we're talking about this demand zone right now. It's a bit extended, but this is very strong. Yes. NLC India, all right. NLC India, nothing right now. All right. When you see this, this is what happens when things are extended right into the supply. This is the stuff that happens, and people are always buying here. They're buying here for some reason. So just bad places to buy. All right. The weekly chart is still in an uptrend, but it's very far from the all-time high. So I'm not really expecting it to go anywhere anytime soon. All right, you were asking about Godrej. Yeah, Godrej properties. I was just explaining just like that. All right, nothing um, related to your doubt. So once this was getting taken out, you should have got out. All right, right here. So I think you're too late. Now it has come down to a nice level actually. So now there is no point exiting. See, look at the stock. It's not doing anything for months. This is your first demand. This is your proper impulse, your last proper impulse, and this is the demand which is holding it all together. So don't exit right now. You might get a bounce. Fine organics. All right. Again, nothing here. This is a supply which we want to see. All right. So nothing here right now. Weekly chart is really good, no doubt about it. All right. So you see, comes down to demand, absorbs some supply here, goes up. Comes down to demand, absorbs some supply here, goes up. Right. Comes down to demand, supply goes up. So trade these stocks. AU Bank is holding the demand zone. All right. But I think AU Bank, yes, we have already talked about this. We want some action on the upside. Sumit Industries, yes, this is good. But again, we are waiting for some action again. So fall, base, and move. All right. So fall, base, move. BSC is also holding. Yes, BSC is also good. I'll just check out BSC. BSC is also good. But right now it's extended. So BSC right now it's very far away. So I would be very careful here. Where do you find 5%? That is something you have to do on your own. How can I help you with that? Keynote, there is nothing. It goes up, comes all the way down. So don't trade this stock. This is not a good stock. Man Infra, all right. Man Infra is very strong. Man Infra is strong, but again, breakouts are failing here. So I wouldn't want to participate here anymore. All right. Let it set up again. This is not a good sign, right? This once it's breaking out and it's failing, this is not a good sign. Genus paper, all right. Genus paper is all right. Again, a 5% circuit, I think here. Maybe not. I think it has a 10% circuit, right? But still, look at this chart. Very clean. All right. Once the up move starts, moves in one direction. No ambiguity here. So trade these stocks. This is good. Trident, again, nothing in Trident. Nothing in Trident. It's falling in a straight line. We are waiting for this demand zone, but this demand is not holding. So, sorry. So nothing here in Trident. All right. Stock look extended, saving a lot of cash in this fall. Yes, all stocks are extended, and uh, and now they're not even extended. Now they're just simply breaking down. So now it's even worse. I mean, now it's even more obvious. All right. Now stocks are simply breaking down. So I wouldn't be buying anything anytime soon. Naukri again. Naukri में क्या है? Naukri, it's fallen a lot. There is nothing in Naukri. Weekly EMA also gone. So avoid Naukri for now. I don't use VWAP. No, I don't. I use the EMA. It works better for me. VWAP also you can use, but with VWAP, I mean it just goes flat when the stock is flat. So you can get a value area. So if I already know my area of value is here, I don't really need VWAP. All right. I don't need VWAP if I know my area of value is here. Right. So VWAP is not important really. You can use it. It definitely helps. There is no doubt about it. When it's far from the VWAP, things might not move. But EMA is much better. It will tell you whether it's very extended or not. So you see, all this is extended stuff, right? So I only ever use indicators to see if my stock is extended or not, right? So with VWAP, you might get an entry here as well, but with the EMA, I'll never enter here. This is very far for me. Even if it goes on to hit an upper circuit here, it's all right. But I'm never entering here. All right. DSSL. All right, let's check it out. Right, strong chart, but right now there is nothing. All right now we need to see a test of supply and then maybe an up move. So again, we're seeing some sort of a move in Bank Nifty. We'll see a test of this supply and probably even more. This is also trying to go up, come up. Also, I think there was a doubt regarding USD INR, so let's check that as well. USD INR, I talked about the supply and demand here. Now, once it is broken out, look at the trend in this thing. All right, this thing just keeps going in a single direction. So you always want to trade structures like this. All right, you always want to trade structures like this. Confi pet. All right. The stock is good. The structure is all right. I mean, it's a bit bearish now, but promoters are buying here, so it's not really falling a lot. All right, so you can definitely look at some longs if it comes up again to this level and sets up. You might get a move. Usha Martin again very strong. So you guys are focusing on strong stocks, which is a good thing. You're definitely learning something from this live. Copran Limited, if you see, this supply was tested and started to drop, so nothing here. Now it's a downtrend. Usha Martin, good chart. I really like this one. See, the small cap index is at some weekly demand right now, so this is probably a good thing to buy. ICICI Pru Life, don't buy this. See, the entire sector of life insurance has started to fall in this area. ICICI Life, SDFC Life. All right, I think SBI Life is the only one which is outperforming. So if you have to buy any life insurance, the chart is clearly telling you to buy SBI Life. Don't buy SDFC stocks. All right, SDFC stocks, don't buy these. It's not even up today as well. All right. So don't buy SDFC stocks. Don't buy these stocks. SDFC group as a whole is underperforming. All right, Natco Pharma. Natco Pharma, nothing here. Honestly, I mean this is becoming stronger. If it's a part of the pharma index, that's good. But you can find better structures than this. It's very far from the previous high. Probably it's at a good level on the weekly. So weekly also broken. So I wouldn't take this, to be honest. Om Infra, all right. Om Infra again, good chart, good one. Demand unfortunately is very low here, very far away. So be a bit careful. CAMS long term, short term doesn't matter. If the chart is bad, then there is no term for me. All right. So I'll tell you what was going on in CAMS. right? So in CAMS, nobody bought here, all right? Nobody bought here. When there was an actual opportunity to buy, nobody was buying. Some people maybe bought here, all right? Maximum people started buying here, and then here as well. Then what happened? This started to break down. Now suddenly it has become a value stock. All right, around 3,200, I remember everyone was talking about CAMS. When the market was actually not falling, CAMS was falling in September. All right, so people started to buy CAMS. Um, Thinking that it has come down to a value area. Again, the breakdown started to happen here, right? A lot of people ask about CAMS as well. So there was a very nice opportunity here to exit, all right? Uh, if you was looking at the charts, and again it started to fall. Again, people started to buy here. Again, some up move, dropping again, and now people are buying again. So why are you buying this? I just don't get I mean, the logic behind it. What is there to buy here? This is showing absolutely zero sign of going up. No matter what, how good the company is, why will you buy such a stock, right? When you're looking at some investing, go to the major indices, all right? Go to these sectoral indices and select the charts which are looking strong to you, all right? This is a very strong chart. Buy auto stocks, all right? Invest in auto mutual funds. Nifty Finance is all right. Bank Nifty is very strong. Buy banks, buy bank Bs, all right? Nifty Pharma, avoid this. Buy media stocks. Look at this media index, very strong. Buy PSU bank Bs. So buy these things if you're looking for investing. Um, don't buy CAMS just because it's monopoly. That doesn't matter at all. There are a lot of monopoly stocks going nowhere. Accuracy shipping. All right. Again, good chart. Really good one. Very strong. Apple India and CCL products. All right. I'll check both of them. Apple India has fallen a lot. So I was talking about this area right here. If there is no contraction at this supply, I'm not buying this. So it has fallen a lot, probably because of the yesterday's fall. But nothing here right now. All right. Nothing here. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people are buying Apple here as well. Don't do that. CCL products, again, we're waiting for some contraction. Nice reaction today. Good thing to see. This is definitely getting into a strong uptrend. Any stocks from your side? I'm not really watching anything right now. I'm not watching anything. Ramkey infrastructure very strong. It's also on my watch. This is good. Brigade is also good. Brigade we have discussed earlier in the live. So Brigade, the demand zone is here, and that's the only problem. It's very far from the demand. That's the only concern in Brigade. Else, it's all right. ICICI Securities, again, nothing here. Nothing here. First test of the supply and it fell down. So nothing here. So how do you have scales? This is the chart of Nifty. I've just added the compare function. So this is Nifty. I have two charts on the same screen. Right. So that is how I have scales on both the side. You can use it. You can use the compare function, and then go to this and click on new price scale. You can get that on the left side. From the settings, you can make it candle as well. It will appear in the line chart. Your last SL in swing, if I don't really remember, it was a long time ago, but um, I mean I've not even participated in the market actively since this day. I'll just show you. So from here itself, I was talking about extended. So I took a few trades here, but from here on, I have not done anything in the market. All right. So maybe now I'll start buying something. Let's see. But my buying points, if I tell you my real buying points, they were definitely here. I was buying a lot. Here I was buying a lot. Here I was buying a lot. Here I was constantly warning you guys that all stocks are extended. Start exiting. And here I was buying something, right? And from after that, I've not bought anything. All right, CNC Constructions. I don't think this will show up. The ampersand sign doesn't show up at all. I think it's CCL Construction if you're talking about this one. This is a very liquid stock. I mean, there's nothing in this. Invent Tech. All right, where is Invent Tech? Again, I'm not sure what stock are you talking about. It's not showing up. Can see construction. All right. It's very illiquid by the looks of it. Don't trade this. It's very liquid. You can find a lot of liquid stocks. This is see. This is at 5% circuit because it's a penny stock. All right. All right. C and C. All right. C and C. So this is illiquid because it's a penny stock. You don't want to trade this. I mean, this is at a 5% circuit because it's a penny stock. So don't buy this. You want to trade stocks which are at 5% circuits because they are moving like this. All right. Not because they're penny stocks. You only take long trades. I take shorts in intraday. Of course, I do that. But if it's at a demand zone, why will I take a short trade and burn my hands again and again? Let this fall down. So there's a time for a short trade. Short trade you should only take when things are overextended. Right? Things like here. These demand zones are very weak. So here is where you'll short. If you're shorting here, I mean, that's not a good decision really. So it depends on the chart. I take both sides, of course. Right, Manali Petrochem. All right. This has come down to the demand zone. All right. That was the fear because of the market has come down. So I think you should exit now. If it starts to break this low, you should exit, which is around 100. So you can hold till then. All right. So that will be it for today's live. And make sure you like and share the video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time at 11 a.m. All right. Have a good day.